Yeah, there was an anti-Semitic shooting over at Bondi Beach in Sydney, which is in Australia, I'm told. They don't have a lot of guns over there, so a shooting's actually pretty... So it's a big deal over there, you know? Yeah, 16, Jesus Christ. Anyway, my understanding, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I only saw this briefly beforehand. My understanding is that the shooter is Muslim, but the guy who stopped the shooter is also Muslim. So, you know, you've got... Correct? Yeah, okay. So you've got... Yeah, you've you you're it really balanced out. The gunman was stopped by a Muslim man named Ahmed Al Ahmed. Okay, yeah, the only thing that can stop a bad Muslim is a good Muslim. Do Muslim moms know that there are more than like 3 names? We need to teach them. At least 38 others were injured in the attack. Death toll rose. Yeah, this one's pretty bad. Obviously an anti-Semitic attack. I don't know why else you would target a Hanukkah event. So there are multiple. Are there multiple shooters? Was this just one of the? Was this just one of the shooters? There are. Okay. So one of the shooters here has been 2 or 3. Okay, gotcha. So I guess all it takes to stop 2 or 3 bad Muslims is 1 good Muslim. There's actually like a good ratio there. High amount of self-control, not shooting the shooter. TBH. Man, you don't want that on. No, you don't want to do that. If you've got them dead to rights, you've got them dead to rights. They should, you know, stand trial. Oh yeah, okay. I'm continuing the video. I see there's another shooter and he's got another gun, and it's a whole goddamn thing. Sheesh. I don't know why he didn't shoot the guy after taking his gun. Well, because you want him to stand trial. Here's a 10-minute video. I don't want to watch. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I apologize for being cringe millennial. I don't actually want to watch a 10-minute mass shooting video. Thank you. Usually when we watch videos relating to mass shootings, it's like the cops arriving afterwards. You know, I don't really need the play-by-play, who did a backflip and when, and who got shot where exactly. The overall death toll is enough like direct information that I need. You know, that's enough. That's enough. Of course, the discourse has immediately the discourse online is wretched. I mean, it's all gone to shit like immediately. Because Netanyahu blamed the shooting, the anti-Semitic shooting, on Australia's decision to recognize the Palestinian state. From the PM of Israel, your call for a Palestinian state pours fuel on the anti-Semitic fire. It rewards Hamas terrorists. It emboldens those who menace Australian Jews and encourages the Jew hatred now stalking your streets. They don't say anti-Semitism anymore. You know, Jew hatred is now, that's like the heavy word. Because they overused anti-Semitism, they had to come up with a new one. I guess they didn't really come up with it. Those words already existed, but you know what I mean. They had to have a higher tier of anti-Semitism to appeal to.
Your call for a Palestinian state pours full fuel on the anti-Semitic fire. It rewards Hamas terrorism.
So just unambiguously, like after an extremely bad mass shooting, anti-Semitic mass shooting, Netanyahu's response was to run in front of a camera and say, "This is because you didn't support us enough." It's not even exaggeration. That's just what happened, straightforwardly. If only you were more Islamophobic, this could have been prevented. You know Bibi's Giddy, it happened. Oh, God, absolutely. He's delighted this happened, 100%.
It emboldens those who menace Australian Jews and encourages the Jew hatred now stalking your streets.
It's actually Netanyahu's fault the shooting happened. Well, not just his, Ben Gvir. You know, there's a lot of people involved. But yeah, I would say you can blame Israel for this one. It is a policy goal of Israel to make the world anti-Semitic because it justifies their existence. Because as long as the world is anti-Semitic, they can make an argument for the necessity of Israel as a Jewish safe state. That's why they're so brash, so egregious, so hateable, so evil, and why they're always saying that Israel is Judaism and Judaism is Israel, you know? So you can blame them. Yeah, go for it.
Anti-Semitism is a cancer. It spreads when leaders stay silent. It retreats when leaders act. I call upon you to replace weakness with action, appeasement with resolve. Instead, Prime Minister, I'm tired of religion, man. Well, if it makes you feel any better, Netanyahu's not actually religious, right? If anything, he's evangelical coded. Like the so-called Christian leaders of the United States, it is entirely a tool to political power, you know? It is, I promise you, these people are not like engaging in moments of private faith, like as a reflection of their own sincere belief system, you know? Doesn't have shit to do with it. This is a no true Scotsman fallacy? No, it's not. Because there are evil people who are actually Jewish, but none of these people actually are. It has nothing to do with them being evil.
It's just to them, it's a aesthetic, it's a socio-political tool. Do you think J.D. Vance was actually an atheist for like 30 years of his life and then converted to trad Catholicism right when he was running for election? You think Trump is actually Christian? Like he believes in that? Come on. Same thing over there. Israel is America. America is Israel. These people are basically evangelical coded.
Replaced weakness with weakness.
Evangelical coded because none of those motherfuckers believe in anything they say they do. Do we know who the shooter was? My understanding is that both the 3 shooters and the 7 people who stopped them were all named Ahmed. Pretty soon this is going to be the entire West.
The horror of anti-Semitism has been unleashed in Australia, and it hasn't been properly dealt with by authorities. And this is where we are now.
You know, I don't want to blame anyone tonight other than the people that perpetrated this horror on our community. No one else is to blame. And I don't want to get into that tonight because we have a community that is in shock, that is grieving. You know, I'm in shock. And
That's a nice lady. Sky News journalist trying to turn this into a discussion on like Israel or whatever. I'm actually curious how Sky News has been covering this. You know, the resident Murdoch Hitlerite organization down there in Australia.
I want to bring in our colleague Shari Marks, and she's on the scene now. She was previously sheltering after a Hanukkah event in Dover Heights. Shari, what can you tell us from the scene?
So I've come down the hill and this is just where it happened behind us. That to say there are dozens and dozens of ambulances. Look right across Bondi.
Do you own a beach robe? In Seattle? No.
This is a scene you never could have imagined. And Caroline and Danica, I've just spoken to the family members of 2 victims. Now, the one, as I said, I'm not going to say their names, but the one family member is a rabbi that I know very well. Caroline, you know very well. And it's his brother-in-law who was shot.
Did you own a beach robe in LA? No, nobody in Los Angeles actually goes in the water in Santa Monica. What would you do with a beach robe there? Get out of the water, wear it, and then watch like the grime, the like gray-green sludge pool down and soak to the bottom hem of the robe? No, thank you.
Clinging on to life. We don't know if he's still alive or not. And just now, this ambulance next to me, it was a regular Sky News viewer, a Jewish man. His father had been shot in the shoulder, and he was just loaded onto the ambulance. So as we're speaking now, those who've been injured, those who've been shot, those who've been killed are being loaded onto ambulances. This is the most devastating, heartbreaking scenario you can ever imagine.
I know it's not unusual. It just feels kind of weird to be seeing this. We don't know if they're alive or dead. He was a great Sky News viewer, you know, while it's happening. I don't know, just it's not a very detached perspective.
And you can see who made it, who did it, but this is a rabbi I've known for most of my life, and his brother-in-law has been shot. I said, is he still alive? He said, I just don't know, I don't know. And I said, die in an absolute 5-0.
5-0. I heard the shots from the start.
It would have been maybe less than that, but it was a lot. It was in the tens. It was in the tens, and it kept going. It kept going.
I said to Laura, this is not fireworks. As soon as I heard it.
The framing is so off kilter. Yeah, I guess it's like right as it happened. I don't know. So many such cases. Every goddamn time there's a terrorist attack. And we found out that the person was known to intelligence agency before. Yeah, every goddamn time. Well, just because they were known doesn't mean they could have gone in and actually like prosecuted them or arrested them. I understand that, but Jesus Christ. It's insane to live in the kind of surveillance state where it feels like the feds always know everything that's going on, but they never do anything in time to stop it. You know, I'm sure they do. You do hear stories of, say, in the United States, the FBI stopping school shooters before they actually do their shooting or whatever else. But it's just, this happens so often. Do we know if the man with the bolt-action rifle was a veteran? Because I saw the video of him firing, and he was reloading pretty quickly. And if he nailed a shot on this guy after the gun was taken away from the accomplice, I mean, I don't know. It's pretty tough to get firearms experience in Australia unless you're in the military, right? Or I guess you guys have hunters. Wait, What do you guys hunt in Australia? You don't have like deer. What do you? I'm actually asking. What do you guys hunt? Kangaroo? Is that real? Okay, are you? Is that a real thing, or are you just saying that? Because oh yeah, you have a kangaroo hunting license. That sounds fake. Dingoes, kangaroos, giant spiders. I don't know if that's real. Kangaroo meat is really commonly eaten. It is insane that there is a gigantic island in the Pacific that has just a completely different ecosystem to every other place on Earth. Like everywhere on Earth has some similarities to their natural environment, and then Australia just a completely divergent path. The fork in the road for Australia, just way out there. Deer must have been brought to Australia? Invasive species? Okay, yeah. Second worst in all of Australia's history. I wonder what's going to come of this. One of the shooters is dead and one is critical condition, right? I mean, it's not that difficult to like know why they did it. It's a terror attack, you know. Presumably anti-Semitism's the reason. There's a suspected third shooter. Well, I'm sure the Australian police will have fun running around. We export wild racing camels to the Saudis? That's insane. That's absolutely insane, but okay. Please confirm no third shooter? Okay, well, that's probably better. Australia's pretty conservative. Australia isn't really conservative. They're just really racist against Asian people. I don't really know. I don't think with the government that Australia currently has, I don't think this is going to lead to some kind of insane 1984 crackdown on on Muslims there. It's just the fact that the reflexive response from Netanyahu was to get up there and blame Australia for its own shooting. Absolutely psychotic. For not being sufficiently enthusiastic about the genocide they're committing, which is probably what caused this shooting. No, it's vile. It's disgusting. And it is, if the Australian government doesn't call out that fact, which they won't, I think that's reprehensible as well. For the Australian PM to not call that out is to implicitly agree with Netanyahu's comment, to essentially say, yep, we brought this on ourselves. Yes, yep, weren't anti-Palestinian enough. Nope. But they're not going to say anything. Posobiec is blaming Mamdani for it. Posobiec is trying to get a Twitter blue check, okay? The fact that countries always tiptoe around insane and insulting Israeli statements about their country astounds me. Yeah. I know it's all deep state shit and they're all part of the, the world order and they're all secretly in agreement with each other or whatever. But I really do hope sometime soon more countries learn that the only way out of this is through. Like, they need to start, like with Israel and with Trump specifically. So many countries kowtowed to Trump in an effort to get him to lower the tariffs that he placed on them punitively in order to sort of extort favorable trade deals. Europe's getting better now? Not really. Like, Europe is getting slightly better about not agreeing with every single thing Israel does, but they're not really pushing back against Trump at all, you know?